Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm hoping that you understand that although we're closed, we are still thinking about you all, and we are kind of missing you. And we're wanting to do this to try and help you get through. So we call this Mythbusters because there are a lot of myths and misunderstandings about doing your hair at home. And we're here to kind of try and get you to understand what you can do and what would steer you away from. Anyone heard me earlier saying that the client is the boss? Not always. Sometimes we are right. So you have to listen to it. We've already put in place some PE colour kits and some glaze kits. Those are for roots or for tonal colours. And of course, we've got our treatments and shampoos. This sounds like a big sales thing, but I just want you to know that, you know, we are here and we are here to advise you and help you. We are doing online consultations, and one of those things that I think if people are having problems with their hair, they very often get kind of scared and need someone to hold their hand through doing their hair at home if they are going to be doing it. And sometimes it's just quite good trying to find out what you can do and what you can't do. Anyway, I'm going to shut up because I've got two amazing experts here. I've got Clare and Julie, who both are brilliant colorists, and I know a lot of you all know them already. And of course, Yasha, who's watching the online questions, and he'll be dipping in and out of the whole thing. So we'll get on, and I'm going to hand over first of all to Julie. And our big word of the night is roots.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Julie, and I'm head of colour at our Battersea Power Station salon. So this evening we're going to help you with home myths, busting and grey hair coverage, and then Claire's going to help guide through glosses and glazes for highlights and balayage. So over to you, Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm head of colour at the Knightsbridge salon. And yes, I think amongst us all, we're going to help you with all your problems today.
Not all the problems.
Not all your hair problems, correct?
Yeah,
and I think what we would like to do in this webinar is make you feel a bit more comfortable about doing your home colour and your expectations of what will you be able to achieve as well at home. Okay, so I think we've got some videos that we're going to be watching. I think it's Julie's first for the root colour.
Boom.
Glamour.
So just a technical point, there is a bit of music on, so we'll make sure that the music plays on the next video. Apologies for that.
Yeah, we were like that.
I thought usually silence.
Yeah,
It's
I
alive
was
for
going
you.
to start singing. And then on to Claire's video now.
This is the glaze. This is the glaze one.
Boom again.
Weird to yourself on screen.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about our PE kits that you get sent out to you. So I did the tint hair coverage. So that's for people who have white hair. If you're an existing client of ours, then you can have your colour formula sent out to you. If you're a new client, then we'd recommend a consultation, and we're doing them virtually now. So that means you can have a Zoom with us one-on-one, and we can assess your hair then. So the colour kits are £40, the tint kits and the glazes, and you'll get in the kits, as you can see, I applied it with a tint brush, so that's nice and thorough. You can section the hair more easily, and it means you can just get all the way around the back, and you've got those little neck hairs you can apply with that easily as well. And then the glosses are completely different, so you can have a root tint and you can also have a gloss colour put on your ends, depending on what depth you are and what you want to achieve on your hair. So it's always good to have a chat with us just beforehand. But Claire will chat to you now about the glosses. So over to you, Claire.
Thank you. So yeah, the glaze or gloss box that we do is probably suitable for almost all of the clients that we have. They are much easier and probably, I say, less precise to put on because you can take slightly bigger sections. They're not permanent colours, although they don't always completely wash out of the hair, so they change the tone, they give shine, and we're going to go through a lot of the myths and Q&A in just a moment, which will cover which would be the best for each client customer.
How long would you say a glaze lasts normally when you use one?
It would, honestly, Paul, it would depend how long it's left on for and the intensity of the porosity of the hair, but I would say you've probably got about four to 5 weeks, I'd say.
Right.
If you're washing your hair 2 to 3 times a week, if your hair is extremely porous and you're not looking and it's not being well looked after, then it can wash out a lot quicker. So if you've got very, if we're talking on the more blonde side, if you've got very pale and the hair is quite porous, then it might not last quite as long because it might grab quite quickly in the same sense as well.
I was going to say, but a lot of people with darker hair have glazes as well, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We have like the shine, and it can it can enhance warmth, it can kill warmth. That's why we do the online consultations, really, to get a really good idea of the client and what the client needs, unless it, like Julie said, it's an existing client and we know their hair inside out, you know. So
yeah, the glosses are more, and the glazes, sorry, are more for probably the balayage or highlight client at the moment as well. We'll talk about those clients later, about the sort of colours you have for your hair.
So just before I do the myths, I just had one quick question. The videos that have Julie and Claire are actually on our Instagram page @PaulEdmonds217, and also you will find it at the bottom of the colour kit section on the website. There's actually Julie's video of her application. So just thought I'd let you know. Okay, guys, so myth or fact? Number one, so I've applied my hair colour on my head. If the colour starts to turn dark on my head, that means I need to take it off. Is that a myth or fact? Julie?
That is a myth. So always read your instructions when you have your colour. We'll send out instructions for you, but even if you're buying like a high street kit, they'll always come with instructions. So when you put the hair colour on your hair, the hair will start to oxidize. It's going through the hair, the cuticle. If it's with an oxidant, it will start to open the cuticle. The colour will go into the hair. And when it's oxidizing and taking it will darken. So don't panic. Always leave colours for the development time as instructed, because otherwise, if you rinse off too early, you may find that the grey hair isn't covered. It's not the same result, and especially if you're a regular client or existing client of ours. Always follow up what we do, because it's what we do in salon. So we don't want, we don't want any mishaps at home or anyone to panic, and just always read instructions.
So this is do the time you're told.
Yes.
Yes. Second question for Claire. I'm a brunette and I can go blonde bombshell at home. Myth or fact?
We had this little, yes, it's a myth if you have already got coloured hair. So if you've got coloured hair and you're a mid-brown and you want to go blonde, the only bit that will lighten is your, that yasha.
And you want to go blonde like Claire.
So if your natural hair will lighten, but the artificial hair colour will not lighten with just a tint over it. That needs to be done professionally in the salon. Now, if you are naturally dark and you want to go blonde, there are different stages of lightening. So you're going to go through red, orange, yellow. Without getting too technical, it's probably best done and being left to the professionals, because you can end up with orange ends, yellow roots, very uneven tones. So again,
which we saw after last lockdown.
We did. We saw a few home colours that hadn't gone quite to plan, and people, you know, they felt stuck. So this is why we're doing this today, to really help people, and you know, instead of just leaving them to their own devices.
I mean, you could say that myth is blondes always have more fun, but they don't always when it's gone wrong. So, you know.
No.
And I'd pretty much been most colours, so.
So I think you've kind of answered this one, but I've got another myth or fact. I've been colouring my hair for years, and I can apply another tint to change my colour. Is that a myth or a fact, Julie?
So if you've got a depth of a light brown, so like a light brown or brown like Yasha over here, you can go a shade darker with your hair, and you can change tone slightly if it's like a purple or a red and you're going to enhance the colour. But if you want to go from like a light brown or brown and you think, no, I want to be a dark blonde now, which is a few shades lighter, definitely not. Tint doesn't lift a tint. So you can, yes, you can darken your hair with a tint, definitely.
Great. Number 4 for Claire. So I've got my colour kit, I've got my tube, and I've got my developer, and I just want to put a little bit of the colour in the developer and just use that. Myth or fact?
Myth.
Listen to the instructions.
So you will be in the colour kit, and I'm going to cover this with a kit that you buy from Boots, or a kit that you get from a salon. You cannot just squirt a bit of tube in and mix a bit of peroxide and look at it and think that's right. When you are given one bottle of developer and one tube, and they're there to mix together. So if you mix less tube and more colour, the colour is going to be translucent. If you don't mix it, if you don't mix it right, it will be an inconsistent colour, and it won't be right, and it will wash out. So you can half the amount. So if you've got some electric scales and you can work it all out, or you can ask your colourist, you can cut the amount down. So you'd use half developer and half tube. That makes sense. And you can only do partial hair colouring, but no, you need to use the exact right amounts. Yeah.
Question for Paul. There is no such thing as shampoos or conditioners that protect hair colour. Myth.
Rubbish. The whole way the beauty industry has been built, and you know, a few years ago when I was starting, I have to say the shampoos weren't as good as they are now, and weren't as prescriptive. But now, yeah, there are shampoos that are specially designed, and when you colour your hair, you open the cuticle of the hair, and it's how it works, and it pushes in those colour molecules. And what you want to do after it's been coloured, you want to close down that cuticle and make it smooth. Now, there are products that have been specially designed, and they've got low pHs. They're also high in proteins and moisturizers. So the whole thing is that they not only close down the cuticle, they also protect it and seal your color in. So, you know, I love Shuamura, which is one of my favorite ones, which I have to hand. Color luster, he said. But there are a lot of products out there on the market. We also use Kerastars, and Kerastars do a great range in products. But I have to say, I do like the Shu ones because they're very good in what they do. And also they've got a great balm which you can put over the top of your hair, which helps with heat styling, because one of the reasons that hair goes lighter as well is heat styling. And when you're tonguing your hair, like, and loads of people are tonguing their hair like crazy, they're going to reduce the length their color's going to last, because it starts to destroy the hair color. You know, it does destroy the hair as well, but it's the hair color is going to go first. So I'd say always use a thermal protector as well, because it does actually make a difference.
Yeah.
And actually that product doesn't contain sulfates, does it?
No, it's sulfate free. So it's sulfate free. So it's not only good for you, it's good for the environment as well.
Great. So they're the that's myths and facts. We're now going to go, I've had quite a few questions now, so we're going to move on to a client kind of section, so that we can talk about the kits and the glaze kits a little bit more in depth. So the first one, can you purchase a colour root kit and a colour glaze kit together? As I've coloured my hair and it's a slightly different colour. Is there a client image that kind of looks good?
Yeah, we have, I think we've got an image of Michelle Dockery, and this will give you a good idea of something that's slightly darker at the roots. And then you've got like a multi-tonal through the end. So she's a salon client, and we do two colours on her hair basically. So we do a more permanent colour at the root, we do a glaze through the end, it keeps it in tip-top condition, it helps reduce redness, and she's a perfect like a root colour and a glaze. Yeah,
I've got quite a lot of clients who I do that with. So you want your grey hair coverage, we can send out your tint, and then if you've got warmth on the ends, if you want warmth or if you don't want warmth, you can have a separate glaze applicator for that, because you don't want to build up of your permanent coming down here. You want
exactly. And you can also get a clear glaze as well. You can also
like
get like a clear glaze, which is just to give, like Julie said, a shine. It's really nice.
Second one is, I love the Holly Willoughby, Denise Van Outen kind of look. And I would like to get my hair colour that way. Is it possible? But I'm scared of it going a little bit yellowy or brassy.
Yeah, so with Denise Van Outen, who we do, with her hair, I place some foils through the top, and then I put a high lift tint on between. So the high lift tints will only lift about 4.5 shades. So if you're a brunette, dark blonde, then you will get that warmer blonde come through. You'll get that golden tint. And then that's why we put the highlights in, because it just breaks up and it gives her that more nice, fresh, whiter blonde feel. And with Holly, as everybody knows, she tops up her tint, her roots herself, and visibly seen on social media that you can see the yellow midband. So after time, you have your tint regrowth done with a blonde. You will need to put those highlights back in.
So there is actually a question on highlights. Is this something that someone could do at home, highlights, or should you leave that?
No, definitely not. Leave that to us professionals. If you're considering a change like this, then book a virtual consultation with us, an online consultation with any of us team members. It's not just me or Claire. There's about 5 colourists in our Paul Edmonds salon across both salons. So whatever suits you, Battersea or Knightsbridge, then book your virtual with us, and it shows that we can meet you beforehand, and expectations, clients' expectations as well, what you can achieve on your hair. You want to be guided by the professionals as well. So
yeah, I was going to say, it's not about telling people that they can't do things, it's just guiding them.
Yeah.
Also, with something like that, if you're dark, it's upkeep, because you're going to be, you've got a high upkeep on that.
Yeah.
And there's just a question from Sarah. She's saying, are the kits and consultations just for existing clients?
No. If we will do, obviously the consultations are for everybody, and we would then decide whether you would be suitable and whether it's the right thing to send you out a kit, depending on your needs and depending what you want to do with your hair. So no, book a consultation first, and then we move forward from them with your, what the plan is for your hair.
I was going to say, one of the things I think always is having a plan, because what you don't want to do is jump in there and then find out that you can't keep it up or it's not working for you. The other thing is that it's very important that we really emphasize, especially at the moment with what's been going on, with COVID is an allergy alert test, because the allergy alert tests are really, really important. And people that have had COVID, it upsets the immune system. So it can make you a little bit more kind of allergic. I won't say you've got a major allergic reaction.
Sensitive, yeah. You're heightened, your senses are all heightened, aren't you? And I think whether you're using our colours, at home colours, an allergy test is so important if you've had COVID. We just do that on all our...
It sounds very boring, but it's really important.
Every single brand of hair colour, even on the high street, tells you to do an allergy test before using any product. So if you're if you're a new client, sorry, then we'll send that out in our kits for you once you've had a consultation with us. The consultations are even just to say hello to us and what you want to do going forward. If you want highlights, balayage, you know, if you just need some hair care advice, we're here for you.
Great. Third client question, client image. I've started to have balayage after the first lockdown, but my roots are showing. Is there any way I can use colour on my roots without it spoiling the lighter parts of my hair?
So we'll discuss about Emma Louise Colony here. So she's a lovely client of ours. She has balayage. I also do Sophie Habu, if people know her. So balayage highlight clients, I'm afraid we can't do anything for your root as such, but we can recommend the glaze kits. So the glaze kits will help revive your blonde. So if it's gone too yellow, or if you like warmth, your glaze can be sent out to you. If you're a new client, then we'll have a chat with you what sort of blonde you're expecting or wanting, and we can send out a colour formula for you with your skin test in it. If it's, you know, a lot of balayage clients, loads of my friends and clients have messaged me personally saying, oh my God, I miss you, you know, balayage. And you know, we really all miss you as well. So we just really, please do not put any bleach on your hair at home. It's such a strong product to put on your hair, and obviously we've trained for many years, I might like to add, to make your hair look amazing. So please listen to our advice, but you can follow up with the glaze kit. And also, Paul, there's like different shampoos which help brighten your hair. If it's used too much purple shampoo, then listen to Paul.
I was going to say, one of the things that I really like, again, I'm going to use Schumacher as an example. They've got a product called UB Blonde, which is a Glow Reveal shampoo. The purple one's very pretty.
The new one, isn't it?
Actually, yeah, it's a brand new one. It's called Reveal because what it'll do is, very often when you've got blonde hair, you pick up pollutants in the hair, in your hair from the air. And over a period of time, I don't know if you've noticed, if you've got highlights of blonde hair, it'll gradually start to dull down and look not so bright. And what this does, it hasn't got any peroxide or anything that's going to lift up, but it cleans out that hair while caring for your hair, but it cleans out that hair and makes it bright again. And then again, if you're using coloured shampoos, it kind of reduces that so you can start again fresh. So I think it's a really great product.
Yeah, I mean, as well, I also find it when I've had like my clients come back in your highlight or balayage client and you've used a lot of the ash purple shampoo, we can remove it more quicker at the backwash on your next visit. But at home, if I haven't done your hair before, or any of our colourists haven't, then again we can chat with you and then recommend shampoo first to start using it before, you know, you can mend your hair, treat your hair, really repair it before seeing us if you feel like it's a perfect time to condition and maintain your hair at home.
Preparation, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd just like to add, if anybody has got, like myself, quite a lot of grey in their roots, and they've got balayage through the ends. So one really good tip is, if you're going to have a root kit to maintain your roots, obviously we're not going to do anything to the blonde on the ends, is that you would layer a layer of conditioner throughout your hair, so that when you rinse your slightly darker root tint off, that the dark doesn't run through and flatten those blonde highlights.
There's actually a question that Tracy's asked. She's got a little bit of lighter blonde around the face, but her roots are starting to show. So that's kind of a good tip.
So maybe put some conditioner on that blonde area, so when you are rinsing out your roots at the back, it just doesn't darken it down.
That's sort of a barrier.
Yeah.
I'd almost say kind of take that out and make sure you rinse that out first. I haven't got much at the front to rinse.
Fourth question. I used to colour my hair regularly with permanent colour, but I've started to grow it out. I've decided to grow out all of my grey. Are there any tips? Can I do highlights or something?
So first of all, you probably need to do an online. We've got a picture of Julie Walters here. So this is one of our clients that did that with us. So she wanted to grow out and get back to her natural colour. And so we just did do highlights in her hair. As you can't do that yourself, an online consultation would really help. So we could guide you in the right, depending how dark and how light you are. It would actually depend on what your natural colour is, how much white you've got in your hair, how much natural colour you've got in your hair, whether highlights would be right for you. But she's a great example because hers was completely seamless, wasn't it, Paul, when it grew out?
Yeah, and of course she was actually filming while she was changing colour.
Yeah.
So she couldn't be seen to have kind of roots and dark ends. So you're really clever because you put some slightly darker, they were kind of golden tones in amongst
we mixed it all up, didn't we? Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things you can disguise it through. I think also if someone's grown out their dark hair and they're seeing that my grey hair is actually quite a good colour, wait until we open up the salons. Don't start messing around because you could end up with really horrible orangey ends and it'll look burnt and nasty and fried. So wait, and then I think it's great to put a few highlights through there and break it up.
And if you're dark, you can have low lights in to break it up to help the transition of growing out. I mean, and you can keep it really cool so you don't have those warm tones.
So I think for men.
Tips for men.
Yeah, I was just quickly about to say, with women who have gone more white, then your hair does feel flatter. So still getting your hair coloured makes your hair cuticles swell. So you can still have different tones of blonde put through. And again, for men, for anyone's partners who are, or any men watching, who are hating their white hair, a lot of my friends who are like in the middle 30s aren't liking this look on the sides where it's coming through like, oh no, Joel Dommett here. So with Joel's, I started to put this colour through his sides. It's called a Homme colour in L'Oreal, and it's what we do in the salon. It's a really quick service. It only takes like 10 minutes on their hair, and that's usually done at the back wash before they go back for their haircut. So for any men that, you know, want to get their hair coloured, or you want to tell their partners, you know, it's not going to take loads of time. It's really natural looking. I mean, Paul, you used to use it.
I used to use it for a long time, and I used to use it on the sides of my hair and the sides of my beard because that's the bit that went white first of all.
Yeah.
And so I used that, and it was great because all it does is it kind of made it kind of a ashy.
Well, it outlines your hair again, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think like you can lose that kind of shape that you get.
Yeah.
Men
I now just look bald at the side.
It blended though, didn't it? It blended. It didn't look like you just coloured it, and you never got any roots that came through. That's one thing, because I
it fades out.
don't want to see any roots at all.
On to some other general questions that people have been asking. What are vegetable colours? How are they different from the colour kits? And can I get them?
I'll answer that one. I am a fan of vegetable colours because I top up my copper at home. So they're a direct dye. They're not mixed with oxidant. You still need to have an allergy alert test with them because it is a colour. And they're just so easy to use. Like one of my clients, actually, she was having semi-permanents put through her hair. And I met her just after the last lockdown. She was a new client to me at Battersea. And her hair had grown out like a good, 6 inches or so. And then she said her old hairdresser just kept putting the semi-permanents on her end. And I said, well, why don't you just go in a vegetable colour? It washes out, it's easy to use. You haven't got to worry about regrowth. It can actually, when I use on some of my videos, you can see on my social media, it actually blends about 30% of white hair. So it is really good way to introduce you to colour if you've never had it before. And it's for every colour of the spectrum, some brunettes, coppers, reds and blondes.
I think we've got blondes. We can do also, you can do some fun
Well, you've
colours
got the
with that as
9-3,
well.
haven't you? The goldeny
Yeah.
blonde.
You can also do some pinks as well.
Yes, pinks, you can have fun. If there's any lawyers out there who want to colour their hair pink whilst on lockdown, you can get like.
You have to be a blonde. You have to be a blonde base for that. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Some of
Or
those
have some
lighter
highlights.
Yeah, so over your blonde highlights that are driving you mad, you can go a little bit crazy and add some colour to it and just make it look a bit different. So it's quite, you know, you can
have some really good fun colours in their range.
Yeah, I mean,
conditions.
Lizzie, our colleague, did it's on our Paul's Instagram, a video of the Daverness range, which is a lovely, beautiful range that we've got. It's sustainable to the planet, and we just love the creativity. You can have fun with it, and it's just last washes. So you can see that on our social media side.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of answered this one, but I purchased a supermarket box colour, and it was a dark colour, but I want to go lighter. Is this possible?
They've used the dark colour on the hair?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if it's a permanent colour, you've used it, you can't just put another lighter colour on. You would need to have a cleanse in the salon.
I think a good word to say whenever I have a new client come in about this, permanent means permanent. So that hair dye is on your hair.
It's
so
on your hair,
we'll have to remove it.
Yeah. And if anybody's thinking about actually going and buying a box colour themselves from the Boots or the supermarket, I would always go for one shade lighter than what you think you are. And even if it's a little bit light, you can always go a bit darker the next time, because once you've gone dark, it's such a
really
big
hard to lift
to try and get it out. It's expensive in a salon. If your hair's longer, it's not that great for your hair. It can throw out lots of reds and warm tones. So I would always go that shade lighter than what you think you're going to be, for sure.
Yeah.
Can
I just say, if anyone does if you do purchase a home kit for us and you've got grey hair and you find them really resistant, then a good little tip is just to use cling film, not a plastic bag, guys, cling film, because it can be just a lot more neater around your hairline, and that can just keep the heat in more. Once it gets to 25-30 minutes, just check your hairline, because your hairline can grab more. Like Claire said, it's always best to go a shade lighter, but if you're putting a cling film over, always check like 5 to 10 minutes before your colour's due off, just to wipe it away like that, and you'll see whether your colour's taken. But a good little tip is cling film for resistant hair.
Yeah.
Anything around the hairline and skin?
Vaseline to protect yourselves, yeah. Always wear your gloves. Definitely always put your gloves on.
I've done that so many times. I'm like,
put your gloves on. Maybe use a little bit of Vaseline around your hair. If you've got a darker colour, definitely. Tops of your ears, nape of your neck. Always use your plastic cape. Protect everything. And even if we're doing our colour at home, it still gets everywhere. So, I
was going to say that. That's the great thing about being a redhead. You look like you've murdered someone.
Yeah, I do. If I'm not covered in fake tan, I'm covered in bloody red. So I'm like, but yeah, no.
I've got another great question actually about eyebrows. Can you use that on your eyebrows?
I mean, I have. I'm not going to say no, I haven't. But I know I have done people in the clients in the salon if it's just like to quick darken. I mean, you can rather, if you'd rather speak to one of our beauty experts first about eyebrows, then do you just for a consultation.
Are we doing kits for eyebrows? Are we doing those?
Yeah, we do actually. There's a beauty kit available. It doesn't contain any kind of brow.
It's all the allergies, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's like everything. All the team are available. You can have a virtual consultation, and we'll guide you through that. So if you want to bespoke something, we're there to help. We can.
I would say with the tint that goes on your head to here, like your eyes are a lot more sensitive around here. If you're going to apply anything, make sure you smother your hairline with Vaseline and just brush it on and remove it quite quickly as soon as it's taken, because to get any of this tint in your eye, and I've done it before, it stings like mad, and you'll have to get Optrex in your eye and rinse it. So I would say no, but you can buy eyebrow tints at home. On my social media, I've done an eyebrow tint and I've bought it from the salon. So just keep your eyes and your hair separate.
Sarah's just asking a question, Claire, on the box colour. Is it the shade lighter than your natural hair colour, or the colour that you want to be that you should be choosing?
Well, the thing is, if you the
consultation,
the consult, but if you're going to the if you're going to the shop to buy something, then you would let me try and think. So Michelle Dockery would be classed as a dark blonde, light brown. Now, in a hairdressing term, in a box colour term, now you might look at her and think she's a mid to dark brown, but actually she's classed as dark blonde, light brown. Yeah. So there you go. People would think she's darker. So somebody might buy something and go and buy brown, and they would end up with a colour like Yasha's colour. So that's what I'm saying, when you go a bit lighter. So it's quite hard. I mean, they do have guides, and there is a lot of I mean, just, you know, you can always have the consultation with us. That's the key. I mean, really get professional advice if you're really unsure about a colour, because you are going. If somebody asked me what to get box colour, I wouldn't have, you know, I would not be able to give them really valuable advice, because it's quite hard to know.
Yeah, I mean,
we've had a question on, you know, that Amanda's asking, how do I know what colour glaze to use on highlighted hair? That's something that would come out of the virtual consultations, right? It would come out of the virtual consultation. It would depend if you're blonde, because there's colours in the glazes, there's colours across the board really. So I would have something quite like an ash, a pale ash on my hair to neutralise yellow. Julie would have a glaze that would be more auburn.
But for blondes, if you want to knock out that warmth, then it is more of an ash toner. If you're using purple shampoo a lot, then lay off using the purple shampoo. If you're going to use another ash toner, then get, you know, a shampoo that's going to help, like Paul said earlier, it's going to help oxidize your hair a bit more again.
And one final question then, if I don't want to use a colour kit as such, but I do need something else to colour my hair, cover my greys, is there anything available?
Oh yes.
Paul's got the root touch. So
I've got my root touch. Honestly, they are brilliant.
It's like a temporary colour, isn't it? It's a temporary colour.
So it'll kind of, it's really good, because when I first used them, I thought they'd come off and they'd be on the pillow job, but I actually haven't used it. But to show you.
Yeah.
So
coming into the camera like that.
So it's actually very good. So you just spray your root, and once it's on, it'll stay on until you wash your hair again. So it's actually brilliant, and it comes in several colours. So again, we can get the colour that's nearest to what you want. The only thing it doesn't do, and it won't go up to a very light blonde. So I'm afraid if you've got dark roots and you're very blonde, it won't do
unless you're like Claire, you have a tint and you are a blonde, then the blonde is quite a warmish kind of one, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah.
Otherwise, then get a glaze.
Yeah. And one lovely thing,
the root touches come in different colours, don't they?
Yeah.
You mentioned that, we did.
Yeah, it gives it thickness as well, because if you have got white hair, one thing, when the roots come through, your scalp starts to feel quite, you feel like your hair's thin, you feel like you can see your scalp, it feels like not your hair, and then once you put the spray on, all of a sudden you've got this thickness, and it's got this texture, and you've got this root. I mean, I haven't got it on now, I've got lots of product on here, but you feel like you've got this root lift, don't you? It's absolutely amazing.
Feels great.
Well, I think we're coming towards the end of our time.
It's been fun.
That's fun.
Well, I was really nervous.
I hope everyone's enjoyed it. I hope you've all got something out of it. That's the main thing. And if it's the only thing is seeing us, it's been worth it. But if you want any more information, you go to info@Paul Edmonds, or go on to our kind of website. Also, we're on Instagram. So look at all our socials. and you can see what we're about. Hopefully we've been of some use to you. And I look forward to seeing you when we return. And thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
You girls and Guy.
Oh yeah.
They'll get a follow-up email, won't they, Paul?
Yeah. So the follow-up email will be arriving with what we've mentioned today and with a special offer that is involved in that as well.
Great.
Maybe the discount.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.